And we are back on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM. The talk of Las Vegas, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. Oh, 151 shows and still going strong. They haven't kicked me off the air yet, thank God.
Thank God.
Stunning. Maybe the devil's going to kick me off the show, too. Who knows?
Oh.
Jose Volonte, and of course, we're joined by Chris Van Vliet in the Insight Podcast. Always a thrill to have Chris on the show. Wish I could have him on every week. He's that amazing.
Wait, if you had 151 episodes, does that mean you're coming up on your 3-year anniversary here?
We're getting
Is it one a week? So is it, 52 times 3?
We had a few weeks where I got to do double shows, or I was doing some on Saturday and Sunday. So
gotcha. Okay.
Because I was so awesome, I guess, that they want me to do that twice.
Think about this, though. The fact that we're talking about wrestling on the radio is pretty incredible.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It's pretty amazing. I remember growing up, and I grew up in Toronto. I remember listening to The Law, which was live audio wrestling in Toronto. And I would tune in. I would wake up and be like, oh my gosh, I'm listening to wrestling on the radio. So the fact that this is still a thing is amazing.
Well, I know when I met Mark, I was just doing sports talk radio, and I met Mark and I found out that he had a wrestling show. I was like, what? Like, it's just, yeah. So it's pretty amazing, man. It's good for people that want to know more about what's going on. And it's not just sports related, but it's amazing, man. I love it.
Yeah. Keep up the great work, Mark.
Well, I'm doing my best as well as you, Chris. You're doing okay.
And I have to give Chris some credit, because I gave Stu the same credit. He had a great background. Stu had the posters and everything. But Chris, I think you got him beat, man. You got the YouTube plaques back there, man. I don't know how you topped that right there.
Yeah, it costs a lot to purchase these, So.
Love it.
Where are you at now? Third on you're chasing down Cornette, I think, aren't you?
It's like he's the guy, which is crazy to me. Ton of respect for what Jim does, but we're like Jekyll and Hyde here, where he's saying a lot of things he doesn't like about the product, and I'm saying a lot of things I do like about the product. So will positivity prevail? Well, I guess we'll find out.
It's interesting, because I have discussions about that with people, and I tend to like to keep it more on the positive side too, though I will go off on tangents on occasion.
Wait, you keep it positive?
Yeah, I try, but Jose's banging on me here, but there are times where I will, go negative, but it's interesting, because when you see, like, when I put some clips up and stuff like that, a lot of times a tangent will get more views than talking about something in a more positive light.
I guess misery loves company, right?
Yeah, it's weird, and people say, well, you should bash people more, and I'm like, yeah, that's not me though, and yeah, and so, how do you feel about that, Chris?
You know what else does really well is getting something slightly wrong, and I saw this great meme about it. How, like, if you ask for advice on Reddit, if you just straight up ask for advice, no one will help you out. But if you ask for advice, and the meme was basically like, here's the way I like to get advice on Reddit. They would ask for advice, and then they would create a second account that would give such terrible advice to that person, or, trying to figure out the answer to this question. And what people would rather do is they would rather prove how wrong you are than try to just provide you with advice. So if you say something slightly wrong, like if you're like, oh man, The Rock versus Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 19 was so good, and then you talk for 10 minutes about how great the match was, all anyone will ever key in on was, I think you mean WrestleMania 18. Like, how could you possibly think you know what you're talking about if you can't even get that right? Like, I think I was on Conan's show the other day, Keeping It 100. And I was trying to think, I made 2 appearances for AEW. One was in Washington, D.C. on the very first episode of Dynamite, which was so cool. And the second one was in Charleston, West Virginia. And I mistakenly said Charlotte, West Virginia, which makes no sense. And I just kind of kept talking. All the comments are like, what is he talking about? Charlotte, West Virginia? That place doesn't even exist. So, look, I think this is just human nature. I think it's unfortunate, but I think we also have a choice in every single day. And I'm not just talking about wrestling here. I'm talking about life in general. We always have the choice to focus on what's good, slash what's right, or what's bad slash what's wrong. And I just personally choose every day that I'd rather focus on the things that are good. I'd rather focus on the light in the world.
Oh, God
Chris,
bless you.